Alrighty, friendos, welcome in. So today's video, I thought I'd make a little guide, tutorial, what have you, on making the jump from a difficulty like Nightmare to a custom difficulty with 0 sanity, 0 evidence. Now, this custom that I have is 0 sanity, 0 evidence. It's just the one that's coziest to me. Obviously, you could change it however you want. I'll go through it really quick. So yeah, I thought I'd talk about making the jump, what to expect, the differences, strategies. I have made a guide on 0 sanity, 0 evidence in the past, but my strategies have kind of changed, and especially with the weekly out this week, I thought I would go and put out another guide. In this video, I'm not going to be specifically going through like every single ghost ability. I do have a video on that, but I'm going to play a couple games of 0 sanity, 0 evidence to kind of show you my mindset and also talk you through like strategies. So without further ado, let's go and hop into a game of 0 sanity, 0 evidence. Normally I do these tutorial videos on Tanglewood, which actually, we'll go on Willow Street this time. We'll try Willow Street. We'll try a couple different maps though. Okay, so as far as what I go inside with, I always take a flashlight, smudge stick, and lighter. The ghost, since we are in 0 sanity, will most likely hunt very quickly. And on a map like Willow, you could always like peek inside to see if you have this living room hiding spot in case you have to dip a potato chip in there. But I wouldn't really worry about the ghost hunting right away. I mean, if you're going inside with the smudge stick, you always have a smudge stick to use and then go hide. So we do know that we have the living room hiding spot if we have to bail. But I usually try to go inside and go straight to the kitchen island, because we can actually loop the ghost there the entire hunt if we crouch and keep our flashlight on. So while I'm waiting for the ghost to hunt, when it does hunt, what I'm going to be paying attention to is its speed. Is it normal speed, which you can know if its footsteps match up to "This is the rhythm of the night." If it matches up to that song, then it's normal speed. Anything else, it's most likely slow and fast, which is still kind of tough to figure out. So you're gonna be listening to its speed. Another thing I want you to pay attention to is when it first sees you, does it go from normal speed to slightly faster? Like, does it get a pep in its step, which could mean that it's a djinn. Also, if it's not a djinn, at that point I usually crouch. Well, even if it is a djinn, I crouch, but I do like a quick little djinn test, and then I crouch. And if you loop like this, you can actually get a visual of the ghost. It'll stay aggro to you because your flashlight's on, and then you just kind of walk around, and it won't get any faster because it doesn't actually see you. Wow, this ghost is like really letting me give the whole lowdown before it hunts. So as you're looping it, pay attention to its blink. Is it very visible? Could it be an Oni? Does it have a very long blink? Okay, now it's finally hunting. Could it be a phantom? Okay, so I can hear this ghost. This ghost is normal speed. It's in the basement, which is not ideal, but... So when it comes out those stairs, I'm going to pay attention to see if it gets any faster. Alright, it didn't get any faster. Well, I already know this ghost is an Oni because it's super duper visible. But yeah, usually loop it here, try to get a visual. I also pay attention to see if the ghost ever loses me while I'm looping it here, because if a ghost ever just all of a sudden walks away and you haven't smudged, then it's most likely a yokai, because a yokai will lose you at this spot. You can actually yokai test here. Well, we got a super obvious ghost, so we're actually gonna leave and try to get a different ghost, and then so I can show you all the other tests I would do. Okay, we got an Oni. Let's go and hop into another game and try to get a more difficult ghost. So same thing, flashlight, lighter, smudge stick. We're gonna go inside, go immediately to the kitchen island. I almost forgot to put up my smudge timer on screen. So another thing I forgot to mention is when you're looping the ghost, if you smudge it at any point, you want to set a smudge timer to tell, because there's 2 ghosts you can tell with the smudge timer. Demon, it'll hunt under 90 seconds after you smudge it, which you start your smudge timer. I usually do it at the end of the smudge, like as soon as it finishes burning. And the spirit will take 3 minutes to hunt. So always want to, anytime you smudge, as soon as your smudge finishes burning, you usually want to start a timer. Now there's a chance your smudge only applied the hunt prevention at the beginning of the smudge, so the timer could be a little bit skewed if you start at the end. But usually if it's within like 5 seconds of 90 seconds or 3 minutes, I don't think it's a demon like or a spirit. Like I do a couple more tests. But anyways, ghost is hunting. It's normal speed. This is the rhythm of the night. The night. I don't even know if you can hear the footsteps that well. I was like singing along to it. It may come upstairs, it may not. It's just kind of doing its thing down there. Day 94. Okay, well, hunt ended before it came upstairs. And that doesn't, like, mean it's a yokai, so, like, yokais have a harder time sensing your equipment and your voice. It just means it was vibing out down there. Next time it hunts, I'll try to, like, maybe stand here. And I'll try to, like, actually let it get a visual so it can come up here. Sometimes, when the ghost is in the basement on this map, sometimes they do that, and it's a little frustrating. Okay, it is hunting again. Let me go stand over here, so if it comes this way, it'll see me. Onryo. There we go. No, same ghost model. What the heck? Let's do a djinn test. Not a djinn. Does not look like an Oni. He's blinking too much to be an Oni this time. Too visible to be a phantom though. Oh, he might be a yokai. He's doing like a lot of double backsies. It's a little weird. Okay. I should have smudged him instead of smudge timer, but normally ghosts don't double back that much. So what we'll do next hunt to see if he is a yokai, we can actually do the official Willow Street yokai test. Is we can stand right here with our flashlight and see if he comes to us. Now there's a chance with yokais, it's like yokais have a harder time sensing your equipment, and this is normally I test for them. Sometimes they happen to path where you're doing your test anyway, so they don't look like yokais, but we'll do the official yokai test here and see. Yeah, normally ghosts, when you crouch them, loop them like that, don't double back that much. And so sometimes, like, he kept following me for most of the hunt, but sometimes what happens is yokais can slightly sense your flashlight, or they get like little visuals of you around the corner so they don't lose track of you. Yeah, that's a yokai. Okay, well this is... He's completely ignoring us. There he goes on his merry way. Ghost? Yeah, he's off the scene. That's so awesome that we got a yokai on Willow Street. Because you're gonna sit here at the store and he won't be able to sense your flashlight. Or if I were to talk, he wouldn't sense my voice. Okay. Well, honestly, we keep getting easy ghosts. I'm gonna keep going until we get like a ghost where we actually have to do more tests. And we got another yokai. Yeah, for this guy, I'm not worried about like doing objectives. God, I always auto default to Sunny Meadows. That's my most played map. Well, the map I'm trying to be my most played. Okay, back to Willow. Let's try to get a tougher ghost that we actually have to do more tests. But sometimes like 0 sanity, 0 evidence is just this easy. You go in, you figure out the ghost in one hunt. But you also don't get this lucky every time. So we're gonna keep playing until we get a ghost that's tougher. Okay, we're in. I didn't even check my hiding spot. We do have living room hiding if I need to bail. Oh, okay. Well, instantly, while we're sitting here waiting, we got an airball ghost event, which means that we can roll off Oni. That is the event you're looking for to roll off Oni, because Onis are the only ghosts that cannot do that. So we already know it's on Oni, so we don't have to pay attention to how visible it is. We still need to pay attention to how invisible it could be. And then also, you know, everything else. But we just gotta wait now for it to hunt. Okay, just do something while you're sitting here. You can also kind of listen to see where it's throwing things to know what room it hopefully is going to be coming from. Which it just threw like a saw in the garage. So I'm assuming that's its ghost room. So this ghost is like taking a while to hunt, which I wouldn't take that to heart about it. Like a lot of people are like, oh, it's taking a while to hunt. Could it be a shade? That's not always the case. Like that Oni we had earlier took a while to hunt. It's just kind of RNG about how fast they hunt and don't hunt. I mean, it could be a shade. We'll pay attention to that. And in a shade, we would have to like go into its ghost room to see whatever hunts on us. Which actually the Willow Street garage, oh Jesus, sorry. That was like super in explanation mode, so that kind of spooked me. Willow Street is really good for shade tests. I've literally sat AFK in a hiding spot against a shade. Oh my lord. And never got hunted. I know some of the garages and some of the rooms in the maps are a little scuffed for doing shade tests, but in my experience, shades will not hunt on you in that garage. Okay, well, we're still waiting. This ghost is just bullying me in the process. I mean, if you sit in this kitchen for a long time and it doesn't hunt, you could try to leave the room and see if it does hunt. Because that could also mean that, sorry, I just hit my mic. That could mean that it's a shade. But, I mean, it threw something in the garage, so I'm assuming that's his room. Or maybe it just wandered in there because it was... Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's in the... Oh, it's a Revenant. Okay, I'm gonna go and smudge it so you can hear what a Revenant sounds like. And I'm gonna set smudge timer now. So this is what a Revenant sounds like with no detection. And as you saw, it got super duper fast when it did sense me. So Revenants aren't just about seeing you and getting faster. The second they like sense your flashlight or hear your voice, they're gonna get faster. Okay. Now, just for the sake of information, we will go and check for orbs. Even if you like get the ghost first hunt, you're like, oh, it's a really easy up Revenant. If you wanted to be like extra sure, you could grab a video camera and check for orbs to make sure it's not a mimic. Because mimic would be the only ghost with evidence, which would be orbs. And we have a smudge timer going, and we know about when it can hunt. It can hunt again in about 45 seconds. So we got time to look and check for orbs, which I'm not seeing any. So I guess we'll see. Like this ghost wasn't a shade. It was just a Revenant that was, I don't know, doing Revenant things. So, all right, well, maybe we try a different map. Maybe we try a different map. Maybe that's what we're gonna have to do to get the more difficult ghost. So let's go hop on Ridgeview. I love doing this on Ridgeview. Let's go try that out.
Welcome back.
Ta-da! But Ridgeview, I'll go and show you. You can actually loop the ghost at the dining room table for the entire hunt. It just all comes down to saving your sprint accordingly. Like even against a Revenant or a Moroi or a Fae, you can loop the ghost there the entire hunt. So I don't even have to check for hiding on Ridgeview because we always have the fridge hiding spot that we can retreat to. So I'm gonna loop the ghost here and go hide in the fridge if I have to. Which I usually, even though I can loop the ghost here the entire hunt, I usually near the end of the hunt. So hunts last 30 seconds if you have them set to high on the smaller maps. I usually try to smudge so I can at least have a smudge timer going. Okay, it's hunting from master bedroom. Okay, so this is a Jinn. Oh, that's so cool. You see how it got really fast when it came out of that room? And then slow down back down to normal speed. Yeah, it was normal speed. We'll go ahead and do that again so you can see what a Jinn looks like. Yeah, but like right now I'm just saving my sprint for when I feel like it's getting a little bit too close and I just kind of tap shift. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully it hunts from the master bedroom again so we can do this. I'm waiting until we get a more difficult ghost to actually go through all the other tests because it feels a little redundant to like do an Onryo test and a Yokai test when we already know it's a Jinn. So, alright. I'll try to get a little bit closer so you guys can hear what it sounds like before it sees me. And then pay attention to the pep and step it gets as soon as it rounds the corner and sees me. And I didn't smudge there because I wanted it to hunt quicker. So I could show you the ability again. Here we go. So you see normal. You see how I got faster? And then he goes back down to normal speed. And he's gonna gradually get faster again with line of sight. Okay. Well, again, another easy ghost. I'm gonna go and mark that. And we'll keep playing until we get a more difficult one. This low-key might turn into a ghost abilities guide. I'm gonna if I end up getting like every ghost. No, but that's not the intention. I really just want to get a ghost where we actually legitimately have to do all the tests for it. Instead of just faking an Onryo test against a Jinn, you know? Oh, okay. I think this ghost is also in the master bedroom. I think I just heard her touch a door over there. Which is good to know, like if you can figure out where the ghost is doing things, that we can like move accordingly. Okay, normal speed. Not a Jinn. Here we go. Okay, not an Oni. Its blink is not visible enough. Not a phantom. It's too visible to be phantom. It's not throwing enough to be a poltergeist. Just normal speed. Now we're kind of looking for a shapeshift to see could potentially be an Ombake, but it hasn't shapeshifted yet. So we're gonna head this way, go and smudge it so we get a smudge timer going. We'll hide by the fridge. Okay. Now I'm gonna start my smudge timer without, although he wasn't still in the room when my smudge ended, so my smudge timer may be a few seconds off, but I think it should be fine. So you can either start it at the beginning of the smudge or the end of the smudge, whatever seems to be more consistent and feels more comfortable to you. But we actually have a ghost that isn't like super obvious for Sun. Let's go. Okay. So now we're usually while I have a smudge timer going, since I've seen where the ghost has come from, I get 2 crucifixes and a candle to set for an Onryo test. Onryos won't hunt within 4 meters of a lit candle, so I just take a couple crucifixes in the room, which I'm assuming this is your room. Let's put like, yeah, I mean you're touching doors in here. We'll put like one here, then maybe one like right here. And then we put candles on top of them, which on Ridgeview, you actually have a lot of candles, so you don't have to go back out and get another candle on Ridgeview. Same with Edgefield. Edgefield has a lot of candles. This here. Go ahead and get my lighter. And at this point, you could stay inside to see what your smudge timer looks like. I get a little impatient, and I usually just go back out and grab some more things to test for other ghosts. So, I mean, we've been inside. It's a minute 12. It hasn't used a crucifix or tried to hunt. So, based off of this smudge timer, it doesn't look like a demon, but actually had a demon last night only use its early hunting ability on a smudge once. Every other time it waited 2+ minutes to hunt. So, we'll do a couple smudges to see about demons. I'm going to take some salt to test for Wraith. Probably another smudge stick to be safe. And then maybe a motion sensor. I can show you how you can use a motion sensor to test for Yuri. I'm gonna drop the motion sensor now and go back in with my lighter. I usually always try to have a smudge stick and lighter on me when I'm going into the ghost room. Okay, I did blow up both these candles. That's interesting. Okay, so just gonna throw some salt down in here. Okay. Alright, so we'll go and stop our smudge timer. So, not an Onryo because it uses crucifix by a lit candle. Also not a spirit because it hunted under 3 minutes after he smudged it. So I'm actually gonna go ahead now and take these crucifixes out of the room because we don't really need them in there. We need to do more hunting tests. So we're gonna go ahead and grab those. Okay, we still need to do a yokai test, right? Because the one thing about Ridgeview is that you can't really do a yokai test from the dining room table. But I also want to bring these over here so I could talk about what ghosts it can't be. Okay, so we already know it's not a spirit because it hunted us under 3 minutes after he smudged it. It was not throwing enough to be a poltergeist while it's hunting. Like usually poltergeists, when you loop them at that table, they'll completely clear that table of items. Probably not a demon, but we'll see. We'll use all the smudge sticks to test to see if it ever hunts under 90 seconds. I actually haven't been far enough away to see if it's a miling or not, so we may have to go do a miling test. Okay, it's hunting actually. Still normal speed. I'm just going to go and talk about what ghosts it can and can't be. Oh my, I hate when I do that. It can't be a Raiju because it didn't get faster on our flashlight while we were looping it at the kitchen table. Can't be a Moroi because at 0% sanity, a Moroi would start out fast. And it was normal speed, so not a Moroi. Not sure about Wraith. It hasn't stepped in the assault yet, but that could just be a fluke. So we'll leave Wraith on the table. Not sure yet about Banshee. We'll cross that bridge later. I'm gonna go and cross off all the fast and slow ghosts because we know that it's normal speed. Okay. Oops. I do that every time. We know it's not an Onryo because you use a crucifix by a lit candle. Didn't shapeshift while we were looping it, so not an Abake. Too visible to be a phantom. Didn't get that speed up like that last Jinn. It's not a Jinn. Happily used the crucifix on this in the ghost room, so I'm gonna guess not a shade. Like I said, sometimes shades are weird, but for now we're gonna say not a shade. And it wasn't visible enough to be an Oni. So at this point, what we can do is we can pay attention. God, it's already hunting again. That's nutty. So at this point, what we could do is test to see how it acts around lights. God, I hate when he gets this close. Like, can we make it change its favorite room by keeping the lights on in its ghost room? Or does it ever turn a light off on us immediately after we turn it on? Demon, we could do another smudge timer and see if it hunts us under 90 seconds. However, I don't think these crucifixes are enough. We could actually take a crucifix. Okay, he's done. We could put a crucifix like right at the edge of the kitchen and see if it ever uses it. Because our demon also has an increased crucifix range of 5 meters instead of normal 3 meters. So if it uses the crucifix through the wall here, we could also reason possibly demon. I still need to do a yokai test. I need to go farther away and see if it's quiet enough to be a miling. Although from sitting here listening, it doesn't seem super quiet. I also haven't heard it step in any salt yet, so we'll have to check the salts. For Banshee, you want to do your Banshee test, especially if you're playing solo player, on the same floor, because Banshees can only like stalk their target on the same floor. So like in this instance, we could just go in the garage and see if it ever comes and harasses us in the garage, like outside of a hunt. Like if it ever tries to hunt on top of us in there. We could also get a paramike and see if we ever get the Banshee scream. Yuri, we could smudge the room and set a timer for 60 seconds and see if it ever leaves the room within that 60 seconds. Because Yuris, after you smudge them, are trapped in their ghost room for 60 seconds. And then Goryo, we're looking to see if it ever... Oh, so it did just use this crucifix. That is interesting. I don't know if that means because it's in this room, or maybe it's got the increased demon range. Hello, sir. Yeah, that interventing right there is not super weird because we're pretty close to the ghost room. Sorry, let me go through this. Yeah, for Goryo, we're looking to see if it ever changes its favorite room, which sometimes ghosts just don't do that, so that's okay. And then Mimic, we could check for orbs. So yeah, I'm a little fascinated right now at how it used that crucifix through the wall. Oh, it used this crucifix now. That's a ghost event. He's gonna break the light. I hate you. Hate everything you stand for. But I think what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to the garage. I kind of want to check the salt, but I want to do it during a smudge timer. We're going to the garage and do a miling and a yokai test. Okay, I don't have this hiding, but that's okay. Do we have hiding over here? He is hunting. We don't. Okay, we're gonna make this work. I'll show you how I do this. Okay, he's not on miling because I can hear his footsteps before my flashlight started flickering. Okay, now we're doing a yokai test. Ghosty. Okay, so he very easily came in here. I'm going to smudge him, and I'll show you where I hide in here if there's no hiding. Let's go right here. I'm going to start my smudge timer now. Okay, hunt is over. So we know he's not on my link because I could hear his footsteps before my flashlight started flickering. Not a yokai because he very happily found us in the garage when we were calling for him and when our flashlight, like we had our flashlight on. Sometimes for like to do yokai tests, I like to use my walkie-talkie because once my walkie-talkie starts staticking, I know he can hear me. Yeah, this ghost hasn't stepped in any salt yet. That is super sus. And also ghosts have to be on the same floor as you to be able to sense you. So make sure the ghost is on the same floor when you're trying to do yokai tests. Well, this could actually potentially be a wraith. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a different location with an EMF reader. And we're looking to see if we ever get the Wraith TP ability. When a Wraith teleports to a player, it'll give you usually an EMF 2. Or if you're playing with evidence, sometimes you'll get EMF 5. So we'll just go... We'll go sit here. So this piano is actually kind of another scuffed hiding spot. So we'll put this right here. And we're just going to put this EMF reader at our feet. Sometimes it's a patience game. I'm pretty confident this is the Wraith. I feel like it would have stepped in salt by now. But we're just going to sit here until it TPs to us. Or doesn't. It could not be a Wraith, but we're looking for a random EMF 2. Like outside of an event, outside of it throwing anything in this room. Okay, I'm going to be stubborn and I'm going to go keep trying for this Wraith ability. But we'll go try for it upstairs maybe. I gotta find my EMF reader though. I'm going to sit here until I get this Wraith ability and I'll bring you guys back. And obviously you don't have to do this to figure out it's a Wraith. If you've put salt on its ghost room and it's interacting in that room, you can even have it like if it does a ghost event in the room with the salt, you could have the ghost event walk through the salt. And if it doesn't step in it, then it's a Wraith. Ghosts can only step in salt during events and outside of hunts. We can also set up a motion sensor in the salt and see if it ever activates the motion sensor and doesn't step in the salt. I just like showing off the Wraith. I think the Wraith ability is cool. There it is. All right, I'm going smudge because it means that the Wraith is just TP to me. Was that another smudge timer? Ah, I hit escape and my hotkey. But yeah, like I mentioned, if you don't want to do that EMF test, you could always just... Oh, I forgot you broke that light. You could always, you know, set up a motion sensor near the salt to see if it ever activates the motion sensor and doesn't step in the salt. But if you're playing on multiplayer, make sure you ask if your friends happen to have gotten eaten by the ghost, make sure to ask them not to activate the motion sensor because your dead friends can activate it. Or if the ghost happened a ghost event, you could have it walk through the salt as it's eventing and see if it steps in it. But very obviously a Wraith. But if it wasn't a Wraith, you could also like set up a motion sensor, say, like in this doorway in smudge and see if the ghost doesn't leave this room within 60 seconds. Sometimes I've had Gorios do that as well. That's if it's a Yuri and it's not like slamming the door on you, which Yuris will do. They'll like just fully slam a door on you outside of ghost events. Yuris don't slam doors, or sorry, all ghosts can slam doors during a ghost event. So if it's a Yuri that's not doing its ability like that, if you're basically down to like these three, usually what I do for Mare is I try to like leave the light on in its ghost room, but leave the lights off in the rooms outside of it to see if I can get it to like change its favorite room. Or I'll like turn the light on in its room occasionally to see if it ever turns it off on me. For Yuri, I try to hang out in the ghost room and see if I can ever get the Yuri ability, aka the door slam. Or sometimes it does like a double touch where it sounds like it touches the door twice at one time. Or yeah, I'll like smudge the room, set up a motion sensor and see if it ever leaves that room within 60 seconds, which the motion sensor test isn't always super consistent, but it's kind of like a last ditch effort if it's not doing its ability. And then Goryo, I just look to see if I've ruled everything else out and it's never changed its favorite room, I usually just kind of guess Goryo. But in this case, we know that it's a Wraith because it didn't step in salt and it TP'd to us, so easy peasy stuff. I feel like I've covered just about testing for every ghost. Like I said, if you want to see these ghost abilities like firsthand, I do have a video showcasing every single ghost ability, which I will have linked in the description. Wait. When and how did this get out here? How now, Brown? Excuse me? When did that happen? I think this place is haunted, guys. We should probably leave. And there you go. So I do believe that's all I have for you guys in this video, as far as like making the jump from Nightmare to Zero Sanity, Zero Evidence, and like strategies that I use on the Zero Sanity, Zero Evidence difficulty. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop it a like. If you love to drop me a sub, go ghost hunting, and I will see you in the next one.